Here we are going to discuss about Gauss law. So on completion of this topic, students will be able to understand what is Gauss law and Gauss law how we are using for calculating the electric field, and also they can understand that the previous method how we have calculated for the electric field strength will not consider the same thing in this Gauss law, so that here we will be using different types of symmetry. And next we are going to discuss about the Gauss law. So Gauss law is nothing but that is charge which is moving through the flux is equal to the charge q. So that is provided by the Faraday's experiment. So here we are considering a sphere of radius r and a point charge q which we are locating at the center. So the total flux which are radiated outwards and also passing through the total surface area of the sphere will be same, which we are saying as which is enclosed by the sphere. So now we are replacing the point charge by a line charge such that the portion of the line charge which is enclosed by the sphere contains the same charge, that is positive charge. In this case, if the total flux radiating outwards means, then this charge which is located on the line is enclosed by the sphere. So similarly, if this point charge positive q or a part of a line charge carrying plus q which is moving inside the sphere anywhere, then the total flux which is radiating outwards from the surface of the sphere remains the same as the charge which is enclosed along the sphere. So now from these observations, the Gauss law, we have been clear that it is respective of the shape of the closed surface and is irrespective of the type of the charge distribution. And next we are going to see about the applications of the Gauss law. So in this applications of the Gauss law, first one is electric field due to the infinite long straight charge wire. So here in this infinitely long charged wire, here we are considering a constant linear charge density, and considering this infinitely long charge wire, that is P we are taking at a point at a distance r and E be the electric field at a point P. So the cylinder which we are taking at the radius of r and the length L which we are close at each point, then this which is enclosed by the Gaussian surface. So if you are considering a small area on this Gaussian surface means the magnitude which is present at all the points on the curved surface will be equal to this cylinder, so that which we are directing to the outward direction. So from this the direction of the electric field which is radially outwards, which makes it positive, and if the line charge and it is moved to the negative. Next, the electric field due to the infinite charge plane sheet. So in the case of the infinite charge plane sheet, here we are considering the surface charge density as sigma, and also the point P we are considering at the point and also the distance r from the sheet, so that the electric field which is present is from the point at the P. So if you are considering the Gaussian surface, it can be in the form of a cylinder or it can be a cross. So the cross sectional area and the length which is perpendicular to the charge, we are writing as pi is equal to integral of E dot ds plus integral of E dot ds. So if this is considered, you can take it as that is electric field per unit area, that is EA plus EA. So totally we will be getting as 2EA. If the sigma is charge per unit area in the plane sheet, then what we can do means, using the Gauss law we can write it as Q is equal to sigma into A, which is nothing but, so we know the pi is equal to 2EA. So equating these two terms we will be getting 2EA is equal to sigma A by epsilon naught. From that E is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. And the next one is electric field due to two parallel charge sheets. In the case of two parallel charge sheet means the magnitude of the electric field on either side of this plane sheet of charge we are taking as E is equal to sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. So if it is perpendicular to the sheet mean, then it is directed outwards, then we say that charge is positive. If it is going into inward means, then we say that charge is negative, that is minus Q. So when these two points are placed between the point P1, then this field which is present due to the sheets can be in equal magnitude and also in the same direction. So you can write these equation as E is equal to E1 plus E2. So already we know the electric field equation, that is nothing but sigma divided by 2 epsilon naught. So E1 and E2 we are adding and we will be getting towards that sigma divided by epsilon naught. When we are taking the point, that is P2, which is present outside the sheets, this electric field will be equal in magnitude, but it will be in the opposite direction. So there will be a resultant field at negative direction. So the electric field which is present at this point will be equal to 0. And next one is electric field due to the uniformly charged spherical shell. In the case of uniformly charged spherical shell, we have a point outside the shell, invert the shell. So in the point of outside the shell, then this charged shell of the radius r and the point P distance r, everything will be taking along the Gaussian surface, which this flux which is moving or crossing through this Gaussian surface will be flowing in the outward direction, since we have considered in the outward shell. So this we can write it as integral of E dot ds is equal to E of, that is we are taking the Gaussian surface as 4 pi r square. So integrate it and finally we will be getting the value of, by Gauss law we will be getting the value of electric field is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught into 2 by r square. And in the case of inside the shell means we are considering the same thing. We are taking the point P distance r and also we are placing in the Gaussian surface. Here also we are considering the Gaussian surface as 4 pi r square. But since there is no charge enclosed in this Gaussian surface area, according to this Gauss law, we are writing the equation as, that is E into 4 pi r dash square is into equal to Q by epsilon naught is equal to 0, since there is no charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface. So that the electric field is equal to 0. And next one is the quiz questions on the Gauss law. So the first question is, which law is based on the divergence theorem? And the Gaussian surface for the line charge will be, and next the Gaussian surface for the point charge will be. Then Gauss law cannot be used to find the permittivity quantity. Thank you.